Alright, what's up guys? I know that this setup is a little bit different from what I usually do. Usually I'll have the green screen, or if I'm reviewing a movie, I'll have like the animated version of me, but from the feedback that I heard from you guys like live action me. I kind of want to differentiate the movie reviews with the movie discussion, so for my movie reviews, I'm thinking of doing something more similar to like what Moist Critical does, where he just like sits in front of the webcam and spouts about random things, but still got the brewski. Just got done watching Mortal Kombat on my PC, and definitely wanted to talk about it. The plot of this movie is something that not a lot of people seem to be talking about online, but it's something that I've always wanted to see in a Mortal Kombat movie, because Mortal Kombat, the movie that just released, isn't actually about a fighting tournament. It's about the heroes coming together before the tournament, sort of training to find their abilities, find what they're strongest at before the coming tournament. And I think that's a great way to get people who aren't familiar with Mortal Kombat to kind of digest the lore, because Mortal Kombat definitely has some crazy lore that personally for me took a long time to kind of put together. And now the question is, was Mortal Kombat, my most anticipated movie of the year, a good film? And not really, but that doesn't mean it wasn't fun. I sort of look at this movie kind of like a modern version of the 1995 original. I'd say outside of the opening 7 minutes that Warner Brothers released the other day, it's besides those 7 minutes, it's a very cheesy movie. It's more of a fun, guilty pleasure than like an actual dramatic piece of cinema. There's never really any weight to what characters do in this movie. There's no point where the film rests to give our characters some emotion. And lastly, there is no drama in these fights. What do I mean by that? Well, the fights themselves are fun to watch. I actually see myself going back and watching this movie just to see some of the fights. But I kind of look at them in the same way that I look at the lightsaber fights in the Star Wars prequels. I love the Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fight, but thematically, there isn't a whole lot happening besides a few Jedi and a Sith who are fighting, because that's what Jedi and Sith do. However, look at The Empire Strikes Back, where there's a sense of weight to Luke fighting Darth Vader. There's drama. The fight moves slow due to Luke being inexperienced. Then gradually, the intensity speeds up. There's somewhere between like 10 and 20 fights in Mortal Kombat, and none of them last longer than, I'd say, like 5 minutes. They start, it's impressive choreography for a few minutes, then it's over, and we quickly move on to the next fight. Some action sequences are pretty hit and miss as well. Sometimes the action is amazing, and sometimes it's very choppy and uninspired. Sort of in the same way that the characters are. Some characters are just so well brought to life. Sub-Zero, Kano's someone that I never liked in the Mortal Kombat games, but he was so fun to watch in this movie. Cole Young. Just a side note, I thought for the longest time that the girl in the trailer was his sister, but it's actually his daughter. I guess Cole Young isn't so young after all, am I right? I'm sorry. Anyways, like I said, some characters are great, and some characters are just boring and put off to the side. Jax was a pleasant surprise for sure. I really enjoyed Jax as a character. He's also someone that I never loved playing as in the game. Personally, I'm a Liu Kang guy. I love playing as Liu Kang in the games, and if you're like me and you're a Liu Kang guy, you're gonna be pretty disappointed with this movie. Liu is the main protagonist in the original, and he's almost reduced to a sidekick in this film. Honestly, it was really disappointing to see that. And lastly, I hated, and I cannot stress this enough, I hated how they utilize Scorpion in this movie. The opening of the film is amazing and sets the tone so well, and that is all you see of Scorpion until, you guessed it, the very last fight. And the most disappointing aspect of this film to me, we don't get to see my favorite Mortal Kombat villain, which I know they're not obligated to put any character in the film, but technically he's like a very vital character at this point in the lore. I'm not gonna say who it is, but if you're a Quan Chi fan, get ready. Also, Raiden is a dick in this movie. In the games, he's not only Earth's protector, but he's almost like a guidance counselor for all the heroes. And so it was really weird for him to be like an asshole to all the characters in the film. He does nothing in the first half except belittle our main heroes. I have no other way to describe it than it being really weird how they handled some characters. Overall, Mortal Kombat is super fun to watch, but it's not a great movie by any means. I do want to see a sequel, but I want to see a sequel that takes its time with its characters. Everything in Outworld felt super brushed over. A lot of the team had no chemistry, and I thought the action was exciting to watch, but ultimately weightless. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna give Mortal Kombat a solid 65%. Definitely not what I wanted of my most anticipated movie of the year, but it was enjoyable in some aspects. Let me know what you thought of Mortal Kombat in the comments below. I'd love to hear, and let me know what you think of this format. Like, I know my room is kind of like a mess right now. The green screen videos just take a lot of time, and when it comes to reviews, I like to give my immediate impression of the film. Like, literally, I have the credits like pretty much rolling right here. So let me know what you thought of the format of this video. I'd love to know. Let me know what you thought of the movie. And yeah, that will do it. And I will see y'all later.